Wolf Media Festival Monthly and Annual Writing Contest, over $10,000 in prizes, publication options for winners, and opportunities to read your work at annual red carpet event, plus so much more. To register, visit www.wolfmediafest.com.
I can't stop thinking about food. It's become a problem, and I have a serious question I need to ask you guys. I don't want anybody to be offended. I just need to hear some opinions, some suggestions, some ideas for where my life is heading right now. Is a taco a sandwich?
You didn't ask that.
What? Is a taco a sandwich? Wait, do you think it is?
I feel like it's a sandwich.
Get out of here. I'm leaving.
It's the Wolf Media Festival podcast. Today's guests from the film Abduction Chronicles and the book Kidnapped, a True Story, Lorna Greyling. And now, here's your hosts, Kyle Hollingsworth, Richard Wilmore, and Jacquelynn Wolfheart.
Let's talk about it.
Here's my thing. Like, in general, no, I don't think a taco is a sandwich. But if you're going to categorize the food, does it count as in the subcategory of a sandwich, just like a hot dog is a sandwich?
Hold on. A hot dog is a sandwich?
It's clearly a sandwich.
I'm like sweating right now. Like, I need to understand.
Substance between bread, unless I guess. So it's not so much like the hot dog itself. Like if you just walk over and get in the fridge or get wherever and just like whip the weenie out and just eat it plain like that.
First of all, that you
Listen.
have finally offended me, and this is when you didn't even say you were going to. You're not supposed to just grab the wiener out when you want to.
I'm pretty sure the Bible says a hot dog is a sandwich.
Yes. I thought we were talking about a taco.
She's working her way up to tacos.
A hot dog, it's got buns, right? It's got the bread. A taco, you're putting stuff between it, right? It's like smushing. So I feel like it would be like subcategorized as a sandwich.
I call bullshit. No, I don't think so. And here's why. I'll give you my reason. For me, a sandwich is a piece of bread and a piece of bread with the stuff in between, right? It's not like that. It's the whole shape. And so here's the thing. So if a taco is a taco and a sandwich is a sandwich, for me, the hot dog is sort of the hybrid because the bun is sort of taco shaped, but it's bread like a sandwich. And then the taco is the taco shape, but it's not bread. So it's even further away from a sandwich than a hot dog, I think.
We need to travel more.
Mm-hmm.
Other cultures have different styles and shaped bread, right? What's that one? A pita pocket. That's still bread, right? Wouldn't that be subcategorized as a sandwich as well? I'm thinking about tacos. All week I've been thinking about tacos, and boom, tonight is taco night. The reason I had to wait for taco night to be tonight because today Deadpool came out.
Nice.
And of course, I had my tickets pre-ordered for months and months. But holy Toledo, the best acting Ryan Reynolds has ever done. He is a national treasure, yes, obviously. Hugh Jackman, a national treasure. I don't care that they're not from the United States. National treasures, what's universal treasures must be protected at all costs. By far, Ryan Reynolds' best acting. I was tearing up. I was literally tearing up multiple times.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
So my whole life, I've been obsessed with comics. I've discussed this with you guys, and I will probably randomly, no matter what, bring up comics when I can. Let me tell you, I remember the first time I saw Deadpool, and I was not a teenager yet, and I knew then that is something I would get in trouble for if I was ever caught with. But when I was a teenager, I knew then that is something I will get in trouble for if I get caught with it, but I'm going to risk it anyways. Let me just say that with a lot of the weird random trauma outside of being bullied for being a comic book nerd, that comic books was a saving grace in my life. It was something that in the back of my head, I felt one day this is going to be me. I'm going to be this superhero and I'm going to help kids I'm people who are going through what I'm going through. I'm going to help them. And to see on the big screen some of the most iconic figures from my childhood. There's a lot of cameos in there, and holy cow, they were all amazing. I did not see 99% of those cameos coming. And I teared up so many times because Ryan Reynolds' acting was very, very compassionate in moments, very heartfelt. It really felt like I remember feeling these. Oh, I might even tear up talking about it. These desperate moments of wanting to be a hero and wanting to belong to something and wanting to have a purpose. While at the same time, just the weirdest freaking things running through your brain. I really was emotional. It was a stunning performance by him. That whole entire cast, best cast I've ever seen put together. Let me tell you something. Ryan Reynolds was the perfect cast for that role. I literally think that somebody time traveled, saw Ryan Reynolds in the future, went back in time and wrote Deadpool. Not only was he like such a good cast, but literally in the comic book. I remember reading this. I don't remember what year it came out, but I think it was like had to be like 20 years ago. I remember reading in an issue of Deadpool where somebody says, "What do you look like under that mask?" And he says, "I look like Ryan Reynolds fucked a Sharpie." Or something to that effect.
Nice.
Basically insinuating he looks like half beautiful man, half beautiful doggy, but in a grotesque way. That was his time of like two guys, a girl, and a pizza place, I think. So I was like already obsessed with him as a human. Van Wilder might have came out around then. I can't remember, but I knew who Ryan Reynolds was, and I knew I had watched his stuff. And to read that in a comic book I love, when he's an actor that I love, like Ryan was born to play that
I
role.
know exactly what they were doing.
Where are you guys on your nerve factor with comic books?
On our nerve factor?
Like we're both very anxious about this whole conversation.
Oh, nerd factor. I thought you said nerve factor. They don't make me nervous, I don't think, should they? I love to draw, so I was kind of obsessed when I was really young about that. My style isn't really comic book though. I have a great appreciation for it, but I can't meet you at your nerd level. Definitely not.
I was going to say, I could tell by the way both of us were just sitting here with no expression on our faces, listening and nodding our heads, that we have no idea what you're talking about. But I love it for you. And
I love that look for you.
I can't wait for Ryan Reynolds to come on this program to talk about whether or not a taco is a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
It is not. What if he says it's not? Then will you believe that if it's him saying it?
I will have to debate with him and figure out his reasonings why that he thinks it's not a sandwich. Now, I'm just talking about subcategorically, if that's a word. But if he can come on here and give me some life advice about the food I'm eating, I'm all for it.
Well, I don't think calling a taco a sandwich is life advice, but
Listen, Ryan, I would love to have you on the show, okay? Come on over. I'll talk to you.
listen, we'll kick Jacquelynn
Yes.
off for that episode, Ryan. If you want to come on here, we'll chat. I'm not mad about it. I love you, Ryan.
Anyways, Richard and Kyle, you guys know me enough off of the pod to know that I will talk on and on and on about things. So I really do appreciate you guys for letting me just like talk and talk and talk. And I really appreciate you guys just letting me have my little emotional moment with you in the world right now. So thank you so much. But also on the flip side, I want to know what's up with you guys. Kyle, what the heck is going on in your life right now? Last I heard, there was the E. coli in the water. And now what have you been doing all day? What have you been up to? How are you passing the time?
Other than boiling water? No, I know. Now, today, drawing. I did a lot of drawing today and planning a little singing evening tonight. So I'm excited about that.
Kyle, wait, hold on. Let's back up a little bit because we didn't talk about that earlier. And I feel like you are one of the most like creative people to walk the planet. So can you talk like what don't you do? Is that list shorter than what you do?
I mean, if it's creative, I've probably dabbled at least, if not do it all the time. I mean, the funny thing is about that question, I used to make myself so wrong about it. And I would have people growing up saying, you need to pick one thing. And so I would just constantly be like, something's wrong with you. You can't pick the one thing. And now I think it's my superpower.
Yeah, it's definitely one of your very many superpowers.
Because I find all these opportunities to cross and mesh and, build, how do you say that? Like overlap them all together. I did that with the retreat. And so, so I sing, my husband's a musician and producer, and we perform together and write. And
that's so cute. I love that.
I just do anything that lights up my heart and that's creative. So yeah, I'm always wanting to do something.
I've seen your artwork before, but what is your website? So if people want to go check it out, it's like kylecreative.com. What is it?
It's Kyle-Creative. That's the site where my art, my illustration, my design, and all that lives. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Your artwork is like, how do I describe it? You have a couple different styles, but it's like very bright life, like very lively kind of.
Blake Lively.
I see what you did there.
Full circle.
Thank you.
Nice. Well done. It's joyful.
Yes.
It's joyful. I paint a lot of the colors out that I see. I'm wearing, stuff that's similar.
Your stuff is just so, I love it. Whether it's cute or just like awesome. I love it so much. Your artwork is
Thank
so
you.
great.
Please do.
Did I also see, and maybe I completely made this up in my head, that you've been making some of the graphics for this podcast?
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She made the little graphic. She's been working on some other things for this, but yeah, she made the one in the corner, our main podcast logo. She made that.
Yeah.
Fun.
So Kyle.creative.com is your website. Sounds like things are going really good for you right now. Richard, update us. What is going on with you?
Okay, so I got a new camera, right? Like it was my birthday in August, and a bunch of family and friends went together and bought me a new camera, like a nice camera to do my show. And I know nothing about technology. Like nothing makes me feel like my grandma more than if you hand me a phone. Like I don't know what to do with it. And I love when it's set up for me and I love to then use it, but to figure it out. And so I got this camera and we have spent like 2 or 3 weeks almost every night trying to figure out how to use it and how I look decent. It's this camera that I'm using right now. But so then we realized, like, because I don't know any of this, I just want to be a talk show host. I don't want to be a lighting engineer. I don't want to be a camera operator. And so I have all these lights. And so we're finally figured it out at like 10 o'clock last night, how to light this room correctly so I don't look ridiculous. So
wait a second. You just said you've had this for like a year and you're just getting around to using it. Did I mishear that?
Listen, you know what, Jacquelynn? There's no reason to be judgmental around here.
I love you.
It's been a couple weeks. And I use it, but so then every day, like, so we literally have 2 phones, a TV, 2 tablets, and then like a computer that we're all like running around watching episodes of my show to see like what it looks good on, what it doesn't, because everything looks, and so like trying to get a happy medium where I don't look fuzzy and weird and I don't look like, have you ever seen like Madonna? I love Madonna. And we can get her on the podcast too. But like she walks around with the brightest light to like blur, to like whatever you do. So you can't really see her face. But I did see her in concert and she looks amazing. But the point is I can't, that's what I usually look like. Like there's just a big spotlight on my head. And so I'm finally figuring it out how to use it. I think. I don't know. What do you two think I look like right now? Decent?
I think you look great.
Okay, thanks. All right. Then I think we got it finally.
A sexy, beautiful, delicious piece of man meat.
Grab the random hot dog out of the refrigerator and calm down.
I'm in here, y'all.
I'm gonna steal the attention back from you and flip it back to Deadpool again. Madonna is on the soundtrack of the new Deadpool movie.
What is she? Wait,
okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's an old song. It's an old song. It's yeah. She didn't like do a song.
Correct. But Celine Dion made a new song for Deadpool 2, but Madonna is just the theme song, like the main theme song of the film.
She's the theme song for life.
She is.
Okay, I have to tell you guys the story. I know. I always have a story for everything and I ramble on.
No.
Not you. Never.
It's so cute though. It's about my husband.
Here, Kyle, I'm going to pass you the popcorn for this story. Here you go.
Okay, thanks.
So when I first started dating my husband, only like our second or third date, maybe, he pulls up in his,
What kind of car?
I don't know, his race car of some kind, is like
Okay.
fancy broed out car. And I don't know what kind of car it is. It's a Type R something.
Does he still have it?
Something. Yes, he still has it. Was a limited edition and it's worth more now than when he bought it in like 2017, I think it was. Anyway, so he pulls up.
It's a Ford Taurus is what it is. It's a Ford Taurus.
I don't know cars, okay? I drive an electric minivan and it's the best thing ever. I couldn't ask for anything.
Minivans are
like
A minivan is my dream vehicle. I would get a minivan in a heartbeat.
yes, my dream vehicle too.
Oh,
But he pulls up in his race car and he's blaring Madonna. So, right? I'm like, great, like heck yes. Let's do this. I get into his car. We're listening, whatever, talking, music's going. It's just going great. And then
what year was this?
this was like 2019.
Oh my.
So he was like blasting the Ray of Light album? That's random.
Yes. But he's just blasting, and so then that's when I'm like, it like
Nice.
suddenly clicks to me, like, why is this bro dude in his tricked out race car blasting Madonna,
I just went to a Madonna concert. There were no bros there.
right? So I'm like, something's not right here. So I'm like, okay, what is up with this music right now? Like, why are you doing it? And he says, I just wanted to listen to it because it reminds me of my mom and I miss my mom right now.
Wow.
Aw. Oh.
How do you find somebody that like sensitive and gentle and
My heart.
and think like, oh, that's not
I'm
the
gonna
guy
have
I'm
to
gonna
marry
marry?
him now.
Yeah, I have
Jesus.
to marry him.
What a move. Did he later tell you that that was totally made up and that was just to impress you? Because that's a good line. I just am listening to the song because I miss my mom.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh my gosh, I wish that was a made up line. I mean, I don't really wish, but that is a good.
Blast the Madonna.
Yeah, that is a good
Pick up
bros
lines
out
from your
there.
friends at the Wolf Media
Yes.
podcast.
Bros, that is the way to go. If you're trying to get someone, blast some Madonna, say you miss your mama.
Okay.
There we go again. Rambling on. My husband's the cutest. I don't know what to say. Nobody be jealous. But yeah, my rambling has pushed us to the edge. Let's get into this interview today.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about, and I have no idea how to save it. But you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero. This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Well, my entire world needs you. Shake on it. Ah! Nicked it. Just got the tip with your little steak knife. This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die?
Who's next?
Oh my God.
Sabretooth, ready to die. Wait. Time!
You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight. It's not gonna be easy. Baby knife, you shoot the double, you take him down. Side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound till he makes no sound because he's dead.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God. Okay, good luck. I'm a huge fan.
Check links below for Deadpool and Wolverine fan favorites.
Welcome to the Wolf Media Podcast. Hi, my name is Kyle Hollingsworth, and I'm your host today. I'm delighted to share with you that we have a wonderful guest. We're going to find so much out about her, and she's a lovely human being. Her name is Lorna Greyling. She's from the award-winning film Abduction Chronicles. She's an author, of the book Kidnapped, which is a true story of her own husband's abduction and kidnapping. She's a motivational speaker, an award-winning model, international model. She's appeared in numerous newspapers and magazines all over the world. She's the creator and host of Woman Power TV. And this is an empowering sanctuary where shared stories of pain into purpose inspire others. She was a newscaster in South Africa, former Mrs. South Africa, former Mrs. Africa, world title of Mrs. Universe TCP. She has a lot going on, and I'm really excited to have her here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Lorna. Welcome.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. I feel so special. I should just take you with me wherever I go. Can you come with?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. I got tongue-tied. I got so excited by everything that you're up to that I was just like,
oh man, thank you so much. That was just beautiful. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I love your beautiful yellow dress and your long dangly earrings. You look so glamorous today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Sometimes I just like wearing something really long and dangly on the side of my head. I don't know. It just makes me feel more extravagant or something. I don't know.
I'm the same. I have a bunch of long feather earrings that I just love, and I feel so, I don't know, I just feel different when I wear them, you know?
Right? I know. There's just something about wardrobe and dressing up. It does make you feel better, even if you get up feeling a little bit, one of those days, and you think, oh, and you just put something fabulous on and shiny and blingy, and you go, oh, yeah, the day is actually looking better already. So yeah,
I know, it's true. Sometimes it's just something small like that. Well, welcome. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. And I'd love to just jump right in and get to know you a little bit and talk about some of the things that you're up to. But let's just briefly touch in on that you play a role in the film Abduction Chronicles. And we'd love to hear a little bit more about what that entailed and what that experience was like for you.
I absolutely loved that role, man. We had so much fun, even though it's such a sensitive topic. Abduction, and what an incredible and powerful film. So firstly, that was such an honor for me to actually be in a film like that, seeing that I have such a close relation with, a kidnapping and abduction. So I was just ecstatic to be part of that. But the part that I played was fabulous, man. I was this really stuck up Uber driver. Like I got into this Uber as a guest or a passenger, let's say that, and I've had so much fun, man. It was hard to be this mean to this guy because I'm generally not a mean person. I'm like the nicest person. I wouldn't even hurt a fly, but I had to be so mean to this guy, and I was surprised at how mean I was able to be. So it was a lot of fun.
I love when that happens, when you get an opportunity to be sort of the very opposite of your own personality. It can be very fun and kind of interesting and stretchy, and you'll surprise yourself, right?
Right? Yeah. No, I was really nasty to this poor guy, and I just kind of realized, how much Uber drivers actually go through. I never thought of it before, the film, and since I've been in numerous Uber cars, of course, I travel quite a lot with a TV show, and but it never kind of dawned on me that they actually take a lot of not physical, but verbal abuse sometimes from passengers. So yeah, it's really something that I became more attentive to be really kind, just greet them respectfully and appreciate the time that they're putting in to take me to where I need to be. So yeah.
Absolutely. I have so much respect for people who do that job. It's not easy. It can't be.
No.
It can't be. And we need them. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And then you never get a passenger like I was in the film.
Okay. Well, thank you. Let's bounce over to some of your personal work. I'm really interested to hear about your book. I'm interested to hear about all of the things that you're up to. So can I ask you first about your book? Just talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely, yes. So my husband was actually really kidnapped in 2010. He was on a work assignment in Africa, in Nigeria, and he's also in the film industry. And he did a soccer sport match filming and recording that. Huge event, and so they were traveling from the actual event back to the airport in a crew bus when they were stopped at a huge roadblock. and turned out not to be a police roadblock, but 55 rebel forces armed heavily with rocket launchers, AK-47s, and just grabbed them out of the bus, pulled them aside, started shooting some of his fellow workers, and long story short, kidnapped him. They held him for a couple of days, about 10 days, tortured him severely during this time. Obviously, it's to raise money, ransom. They wanted large amounts of money. And during this time, they would take off his clothes and beat him, torture him with a thick blade. It's called a panga. And so in Africa, they use these steel blades to cut grass in the fields, a very primitive way. So they would beat him with this steel blade against his bare body. And they would call me during these times, and they would hold the phone by his ear. So he would be screaming and begging for his life, literally. Shouting at me, begging me, help me, Lorna, help me, please, they're gonna kill me, help me. And then he would scream, and I could hear the pain, and then they would shoot, and then they would kill the phone. So there would just be dead silence on the other side, and days and hours would pass before we would get a proof of life again, or whatever the case is. So this was a real situation that I went through, and they would have to buy the book and find out how we got him out, because it is a complete miracle of how we actually eventually got him out. But very sad. It really happens. They killed numerous people, children, mothers, innocent bystanders. And so it's something to be talked about for sure. So I'm glad we made the film.
Yes, I was just going to say it goes hand in hand. I can see why you're passionate about the film based on
Exactly.
your own experience, and just bless you and your husband for making your way through that. That's so intense. I cannot imagine.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story. I'm a big stand for people sharing their stories like this.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And that I'm so passionate about stories and sharing them, because it just brings so much hope. And it sheds light, on a subject that sometimes doesn't get talked about, because people don't always want to hear about these hard things. Life is sometimes so stressful enough, right? We all have our things that we have to handle. And so when you hear these sad and really horrible stories, it's like, oh man, what can I do about that? I don't want to even hear about it, because it just makes me even more depressed, or it makes my day even more difficult, or whatever the case is. But when we do discuss these things, light can be shined upon these situations, and we can start looking at solutions and saying, all right, how can we prevent these things from happening? How can we promote healthy family lives? And, how can we work harder against abuse and drugs and all these things that causes people to end up in a lifestyle where they take someone else's loved one, abduct them for money, and cause trauma, huge trauma for every single one involved. And that trauma isn't something that just goes away. It's just not something that you live with and then, whoa, it's gone, right? It's stuff that you now have to deal with for the rest of your life. You have to overcome these things. And I'm passionate about that, because you can overcome it. You can overcome even the worst amount of trauma that can happen to you in your life. And there's ways and tools and things, and people have to know about that as well. So, but yeah, it's good to, get these things out in the open and talk about them. For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's difficult to hear some of the stories, but at the same time, it's vital, because we raise awareness, and as does the film. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to also know about some of the other projects that are alive in you, what you're up to. You've got a beautiful history of things to choose from. And I also know that there's a story about something big that you went through with one of your children. And if you're open to sharing that, I think that might be something I'd love to hear a little bit about.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually so empowering to be able to share my daughter's story now as well, because what I went through during the kidnapping, I learned so many tools that made me so much stronger, tools and things that I was able to learn to handle stress with and to be able to cope, really well in impossible situations. And so I'm passionate about teaching that as well to others. But I was able to use these again firsthand, just, when we went through this with my daughter in October last year. She was never sick, perfectly healthy child, grade 12. She was just going to graduate her final year. And she got a sudden headache. It was just excruciating, got extremely sick from that, started losing consciousness. Long story short, after about a week of in and out of hospitals, doctors, ERs, we were everywhere. Nobody could figure out what was wrong with her. And eventually they found out she had something called AVM. So it's an arterial venous malformation. So it's the arteries in her brain that kind of formed but by birth and now has ruptured. So she was literally bleeding into her brain. And it was a phenomenal miracle that she survived it, because usually the size AVM that she had is fatal. So that is just incredible. Even the hospital is doing a whole story on her now because she's such a miracle. But yeah, so that, during that time, I was able to utilize the things that I learned during the kidnapping. Things like, if you hold onto fear, if you hang on to the worst case scenario, that drains all of your strength, all of your energy, and all of your power to handle what is in front of you. So you can take your thought life in your brain and you can either think, well, what if she dies? What if she dies? What am I going to do? What if she dies? Or you can take that same moment and say, I have faith that she's going to be in good hands, that the doctors who are working on her is qualified, they are competent, they know what they're doing. And even if she does die, I am going to have the strength and the power to get through this. And so that is a very, very difficult way to think. It doesn't come naturally at all. The natural thing for us is to go, oh, what if, worst case scenario. We're just kind of born that way. But if you consciously shift your mind and push towards the other side, it gives you the most incredible strength and peace to get through impossible situations. And so, it's just something that I am able to now implement in my life, even in stupid normal situations, like just getting through a difficult day, like thinking, okay, where have I now gone and started meditating and thinking about the worst case scenario. Because now I feel totally drained. Somewhere in my life, I've completely decided to grab onto a fearful thought and I'm hanging onto that. And so I need to kind of backtrack in my brain. Okay, what am I doing? And it's amazing how you just find strength and energy and peace. Like the best thing in the world is to have peace and joy. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I love everything you just said. It's so in alignment with myself. And I think about, as you described, that idea of how we can kind of go behind ourselves and be the observer of what we're thinking, and then just choose to kind of, like you're saying, to think about the best possible outcome.
Yes,
because that's the best use of that energy. I love that. That's really, that's cool. Very cool.
It's absolutely. In any, I mean, it can go both ways, right? Of course. I mean, she could have died at any second, and the doctors kept telling us that all the time. And that was the reality. Like, this is the facts. Like, she's got an 80% chance of not surviving this. They're gonna do a surgery. They did 4 surgeries. One was 9 hours to try and remove the ruptured arteries. And there was a whole thing that had to be removed from her brain, open brain surgery. But even just deciding to have the surgery was, it was an impossible choice to say, yes, we're going to do it, because the survival rate was so low. And so you faced with these impossible circumstances. And of course she can die. She could live, it could go both ways. But the difference is, which one are you hanging on to? Like, fear is that choice that we make in a split second without realizing it. And in that same second, we can choose to have faith that we will get through this, that no matter what happens in this situation, is that we will find the strength to get through this. The people will be around us to help us through this. You know, we will have that. And it's just a choice to believe that. Whether it's going to be like that or not, who knows? But choosing that, having that faith gives you peace, gives you strength, gives you joy. Choosing the other side depletes you completely. It makes you anxious, it makes your heart palpitate, it's unhealthy. And so, yeah, it's just like the difference is how you're going to get through the circumstances, one way or another, with joy, strength, and power, or defeated and depleted. But, you know, the outcome, we can't really say what that's going to be.
Yeah.
That's not up to us, but you can choose how you get through it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that was phenomenal for me to learn that, because in the past I never knew. I would just hang on to the fear, like I think worst case scenario, like totally anxious, you know, going, yeah, my emotions would totally leave me and I would be a mess.
Yeah,
So what does that help? Because what's going to be is going to be, right?
exactly. I mean, you had the two ultimate tests.
Yeah.
So your spouse and your child nearly dying.
Yeah,
I think you got the best learning possible, and
for sure.
as painful as it probably was, I know you're grateful for all of that you've just shared, because it's helpful for all of us to hear and to remember that we're always in choice.
Yes, that choice. We always have a choice. It doesn't feel like it, but we always have a choice. You cannot choose what life throws at you. Life can throw the worst things at you at the most impossible times, but you can choose what you do with that life throws at you. You can choose. You can either choose to hang on and be ungrateful and be crazy scared and hang on to the fear in the worst case scenarios, or you can choose to make the best of what's happened. And your choice will ultimately equal, you know, the life that you will lead after that. That's
Absolutely.
just, how it is.
I could not agree with you more. Thank you. Let's take a few minutes to talk about Women Power TV. You're the creator and host of that. What can you share with us about it?
Oh, that is my pride and joy. I am so blessed to be able to have this talk show. It's a talk show. It's called Women Power TV. Nothing feminine at all. We have male guests. The things that we talk about is just really empowering topics. It's just I'm a woman, and we're telling powerful stories. So that's where the Women Power TV came from. But yeah, we talk about anything that is empowering, inspirational, stories of pain that turns into purpose, stories of tests that becomes testimonies. Sometimes it's really educational things to help us through life, to better our life and our lifestyle, you know. So that's just a 25-minute show, and I absolutely love it. I've received amazing feedback, emails from people of how the stories have touched them and changed their lives. So it's just such a legacy of hope that I'm able to leave through television. So yeah, I'm very blessed to do that.
That's beautiful. And how often do those come out?
So they air on a Monday on CJC Network at around 8 p.m. So CJC Network, they are on various different television apps, Distro TV, The Grio, Local Now, Select TV. And then, of course, the easiest place to go and see it is on YouTube. So usually they will come out on a Tuesday on YouTube after it's been on TV on a Monday. So usually around 8 or 7 p.m. Eastern time, they are released on YouTube. So yeah, go and check it out. Women Power TV on YouTube.
That's wonderful. So tell me, what else is in your field right now? What else are you up to? What else are you creating? I know there's some other stuff. Can you share anything?
Well, you know, it's just the basic day-to-day thing. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife. Well, let me put wife first. I'm a wife and a mom. We always turn these things upside down. It's not so good for our marriage, right? Put the husband first, I think, then the kids. But yeah, so, you know, there's a lot going on. My daughter is getting married at the end of the year. So that's super exciting for us, you know, as a family. My middle daughter, who had this crazy thing happen to her, brain surgery, was able to finish school. So that was a phenomenal miracle, really. But yeah, hard work. I had to quit my job. I had to do all kinds of things to rehab for months and months and months to help her get through this. So yeah, she graduated and she's going off to college. So I have a college student, a wedding coming up, and then my little one, she's not so little, but she's turning 16. So I have a teenager at home. She's going off to school as well after the summer vacation. And then my husband is off to the Olympic Games now in Paris. He's going to work there as an audio engineer. So yeah, busy lifestyle. In between, I'm filming the TV shows. I also have a local magazine that I publish for the community. So I just love community. I love people. I love reaching out, making a difference. We have one life, just one. And so whatever we put in this life is our legacy. I try and remember that every single day. Every single day when I feel like giving up or not doing what I'm supposed to doing, or just, feeling overwhelmed, I'm like, all right, let me just stop, breathe, think. This is my legacy. So what do I want to leave? How do I want to be remembered? And let me focus on that and not on the problems that is in front of me. Because even our most beautiful dream, like having my own television talk show, I couldn't even have imagined to have this. It's such a blessing. But even in the blessing, there is hard work. There is excruciating hours and hours of not sleeping, preparation, things that go wrong, people that don't show up, funds that get retrieved, like so many things, that goes on in production, so the dream is not always so colorful. Like it, you have this thing in your head and it seems colorful and beautiful. It's like a cloud, this dream, but then living that dream is quite something else. So, but yeah, I try and remember just, why am I here? And what do I want to do? I want to leave a legacy. I want to make an impact. So focus on that and don't focus on the problems. Tomorrow will have its own issues. Exactly. And we will get through them. So one thing at a time, just breathe.
I love saying before every rainbow is a storm.
Exactly.
Easily, So is there anything else you'd like to share with us while we have a few minutes left together?
So basically just, go out there and go and check out the movie, the film Abduction Chronicles. It's really phenomenal. It's a beautiful story. It's real. I think it was such a wonderful film to work on. Such beautiful people that we met all through that. So yeah, go and check it out. Start these tough conversations. Let's do it. Let's make a difference.
Absolutely. I love this conversation because I'm so with you on that. So beyond what you've shared about the TV, where can people find you? Do you want to share some contact points for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. They can find me on Instagram. It's usually the easiest. It's at Lorna Greyling. So LORNA, and then Greyling, like the color gray, GREY though, LING. So Greyling, Lorna Greyling, that's Instagram. Woman Power TV, that's on YouTube. And then I do have a website called just Lorna Greyling. You can just go and check me out there. So
wonderful.
Super easy.
And we can find your book where?
Oh yeah, the book is available. It's called Kidnapped by Lorna Greyling, and that is available on Amazon. So Kindle, Amazon, it's the easiest to get it there for sure.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Well, I'm so grateful for this time with you today. It's been such fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
We appreciate it, and good luck with everything going on in your beautiful world.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, Lorna. Thanks.
Bye.
Wolf Media Festival Monthly and Annual Film Contest. Over $50,000 in prizes, guaranteed distributions deal, public screening, and award presented at annual red carpet event. To register, visit www.wolfmediafest.com.
Wow, what an amazing interview with Lorna Greyling. I just could talk to her all day.
She is so amazing. I had the most wonderful time with her. Like she mentioned in an interview that we had such a fun time despite it being such a dark topic, despite that being so closely related to a topic from her own family. I just wanted to say though, on her particular scene too, we didn't realize it at the time, but she came and she filmed and she did like a day of filming, and we didn't realize it until checking the feed later on because we were doing like back to back to back people for that day. And so we didn't get the chance to check the feed on the normal monitor. We just were able to check the feed on the little one. Everything looked golden. Later that night, when we're processing things, we noticed that the camera was out of focus on her the whole time. On a little screen, you couldn't tell. Once it got up to like even about the computer size, like a computer size monitor, out of focus. So we had to call her last minute and say, "Hey, do you mind reshooting with us?" Had to call up Nick. Her scene was actually with Nick, the male lead actor in the film. So I had to get him up early, her up early, go reshoot. It was fun. I was actually kind of really excited and happy. Not that we messed up, but that it gave me a chance to spend more time with her because she is like literally a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
I'm amazed by what she's been through, and she's so full of light. I mean, even just her outfit, the yellow and the dangly earrings,
Literally.
she was just like a beam of sunshine.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like, for me personally, I feel like I resonated with a lot of her sort of mindset about life and about things that happen to us. You know, she's been through such a staggering amount of things, the whole story with her husband and his kidnapping, and the fact that she has been able to parlay that into just a beautiful life of showing up in the world, I don't know, as light. You know, that's how she occurs to me. And do remember that her book, Kidnapped, A True Story, is on Amazon. And I also wanted to just chime in and talk about Books A Million really quick. They're one of our affiliates, so do give them a look as well.
I want to come in and add in her book too. It is written in, so I have a copy. I actually thought I brought it up here because I wanted to show you guys. It is frayed, I guess. With, I don't know how you would describe it. It's been beaten up a bit from carrying it around and reading and stuff. It's written in such a unique way because it's a two-person perspective point of view. Well, I just doubled my words, but it's 2 points of view happening with the same story. And I really thought that I'm not saying she's the first to ever do that, but it was really unique, especially when it comes to a true horrifying story like that. I read it and she really did a great job. It is just like the movie. This book is a tough situation. An amazing, fascinating situation, but still a rough one. So, you know, a little warning when you please read it and learn about the world, but a little bit of warning before you go into that.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yes. Thank you guys. Just like Kyle had just said, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff that you hear everybody say at the end. Follow us, I don't know, stalk us, whatever the trend is these days, do that to us so you can get notified when we have new episodes and whatever, which hopefully will always be coming out every Wednesday plus more. Also, I want to remind everybody that we do have the Buy Me a Coffee and the Patreon. Even if you aren't capable of buying something, I suggest checking out one of those. I'll put the links in the bottom. I wrote what I think is some very lovely bios about my hosts and a little bit about myself. So just go over there to read their bios. Check out their websites, check out their other podcasts, their Richard's Daily Show. And thank you so much for hanging out with my rambling on, even at the end of this. I'm still rambling. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience at the Wolf Media Festival. Join us at the Hilton Event Center April 18th, 19th, and 20th, 2025, for a weekend filled with exciting films, creative workshops, inspiring panels, and interactive events. From film screenings to photography exhibits, podcast showcases to TikTok battles, there's something for everyone. Get your tickets now at www.wolfmediafest.com.